Good morning. Today I will be starting lecture on well completion upper part and some other topics are there I will cover. So, one thing is that when you complete lower part means you have tubing, you have casing, you have cemented, you have perforated, that is done. And there are different completion method for lower part, for example open hole, cased hole, or open hole you perforate, you produce and controlling equipment. So, there are different ways. So, the people who are going into details of well completion and drilling, they will get details of that, but in our case we are just giving some brief idea, so that technical terms you should be familiar with. So, one way is that you go through the lecture, another plus you go through extra material, maybe Wikipedia, maybe Google search, maybe ChatGPT, so that you should be familiar with the terms. So, whenever you will be using like say well completion, casing, cementing or any other term, you should not say okay, so I don't know the terms, because whenever you are petroleum engineering or you are learning petroleum engineering subjects, so you should be familiar with the terms used in petroleum industry. Many times some term can be used in petroleum industry certain way, but common people will be using the term in different way. For example, rat hole, mouse hole. Okay, though rat, mouse, those terms people will be understanding some different way, but petroleum industry people will be understanding those are actually hole to keep pipes or kellies. Okay, so you must be familiar with the term. Again, regarding units, I told already the field units will be there. So, all industry uses specifically field units, the terms barrel and gallon, feet, Fahrenheit, Rankine, all these terms also must be familiar. They uses, they will be using the term PSI, pound per square inch, okay, instead of your Newton per meter square. So, you must be familiar with the PSI conversion also. So, whenever you are studying petroleum engineering, you must be familiar with this term, plus you have to be familiar with this porosity, permeability, what is pressure, what is stress, what is fluid flow. Those are very common term you are using. Petroleum industry means chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, fluid flow, those things are combination actually. Especially when you are talking about well completion, drilling, production, separation, transportation, those involves mechanical and chemical engineering basically. So, you must be familiar with the specific terms, specific units, specific definitions, for example, pressure, force, temperature, pressure, units, relevant units, like someone saying barrel per day. So, you should not say okay, I do not know. Okay. So, as a petroleum engineer you must be knowing. So, people will be expecting you also from you that you know the terms. Okay. Maybe many people will be asking, okay, you are petroleum engineer, so do you know this one? So, you should not say I do not know. Okay. So, you must be familiar with the general aspect of petroleum engineering as well as the technical aspect. So, technical aspect we are giving here, but general aspect you will get from Wikipedia, your Google search, your normal document, your news item. Regularly news item will you will find that India is buying oil from this country, reducing this country, oil price going up, oil price going down, geopolitical issues are coming up because of oil. Because of oil in many countries, and many countries want to invade them, or there are lots of issues are there related to oil and gas, because this is power, energy. So, if you have energy, you have power. So, that is the basic philosophy of all politics in all over the world now at this moment. Okay. Now, when you are talking about upper completion will be including like wellhead you put, okay. Then you put a casing, Christmas tree again. So, if you tell common people Christmas tree, so they will understand something different, but here oil industry will be assuming this is actually controlling mechanism, flow control mechanism. Through this one you can access your wellbore. You have several valves arrangement there. So, primary control valve, secondary control valve, safety equipment, all things will be there in Christmas tree. So, this is not actual Christmas tree used during the Christmas tree 25 December, rather it is a mechanical equipment used in oil industry, and they will have wet tree, dry tree, okay, or only tree sometimes they say. Okay. So, those terms there you must be familiar with. And again they will be putting choke, here you can see choke. Choke also controls flow. When you have continuous flow, you are getting stable production. So, that time when choke will be there, choke will be regulating flow, how much upstream pressure will be there in wellbore, how much pressure or how much flow rate you are accepting for your separation, your production. Okay. And that is one important part for oil industry, because if you do not have choke, then whatever flow you are getting, you are producing, So that can create your unstable production rate. Unstable production rate means like you have sand control system, and sand control system you have everything stable, less amount of sand you are getting is getting produced, no water injection is, water coning is happening, and suddenly if you change your production rate, so in that case what will happen, maybe your sand will be, more sand will be coming into wellbore, or maybe water coning will happen. So instead of oil and gas you will get water, more water, and water is not economical, you have to dispose also. So if you are getting more water, that means you are in danger zone, actually your economy, your profit level will be going down. So you have to produce such a way that you can get less water into wellbore, you get more oil and gas. Okay, sand also not economical because you have to dispose somewhere, and sand will be giving corrosion, erosion also. If you have H2S, then corrosion will be occurring. Again, corrosion plus erosion, it will be more dangerous. Why dangerous? Because corrosion, what happens, like you have metal part. Okay, because of corrosion fluid, this is metal, iron, H2S will be acting over it. Okay, then it will be creating ferrous sulfate, ferric sulfate. Sulfate means it is softer than iron. When softer than iron and you have sand particle hitting it, okay, sand particle will be trying to erode or remove the material, and you have sand particle will get softer material, iron salt. It is called salt, right? Iron plus sulfide or sulfate. So that will create softer material. Softer material will be getting removed quickly, and the corrosive fluid, it will get again fresh surface. So it will say, okay, I got fresh surface, I will act again. So they will create again salt, again metal hitting. So corrosion, erosion will be eroding the system quickly. So that will be more dangerous if you have corrosive fluid and erosion also occurring. So you have to prevent both actually if possible. So sand, you try to minimize, you cannot stop 100%. Okay, if you are stopping 100% sand production from wellbore, that means you have to stop whole production actually. So there will be some sand particle with very fine diameter, will be very low, the sand particle diameter. So that will be coming with liquid oil or water. Okay, and if you have corrosive gas, so many times you cannot avoid, you have to accept. So in that case you have to select material properly, so that it will not affect so much in your systems. Okay, so sand can be deposited in your separator system, pipeline system, erosion will be occurring, and suddenly if you are changing your production rate because of choke manipulation, or you want to get more production tomorrow because oil price rising, so you get more production. So in that case you are creating instability in your reservoir connectivity area. Reservoir connectivity area means like you have wellbore and you have perforated, right? You have cased, cemented, then you have perforated. Perforated means you make lots of hole so that oil and gas will be entering into wellbore and you will go to surface. Okay, so when you have this area, this connectivity area will have like this. I have hole, I have like long connectivity perforations. Okay, so there lots of sand particle will be there. Okay, it will create arch. So initially you perforate, I will explain later what is the perforation. So you perforate means you create long hole. When you created, lots of debris, small sand particle or rock particle will be creating. Okay, so that particle will create a small arch, so that will create stable arch and you will get smooth production. Now suddenly you want to change your productivity, so what will happen, this arch will get broken. So when arch is getting broken, this sand particle, like this sort of arch is created. Okay, so this sand will start coming in. So this whole area will be unstable, and you will get more sand. Okay, so that is also not desired. Again, many times suddenly you want to get more production, so sometime water coning will be there. So water will create some cone, so oil and gas will not enter. So rather water will be more entering into a wellbore. Okay, so you need stable production for longer duration, 1 year, 2 year. Okay, so that you get less sand, less water, you get economical benefit. But if you change, then your economy, you may get production today very high, but tomorrow it may not be very high. It will create many other problems. So you must have controlling valve, because controlling valve required to control flow. You say any uncontrolled situation is there, or you want to access wellbore. So in that case, through control valve you control flow, inject kill fluid. Kill fluid, I think those are not petroleum, they may not be familiar with. Kill fluid means you create very high density fluid, inject into wellbore, so that no oil and gas will come out from wellbore to the surface. So when it is not coming out to the surface, so that time you can do any piping cleaning, or you can put any artificial lift system, because reservoir is having certain pressure, let's say 100 pressure. You create column of high density fluid, H rho g, if you have H rho g, you can create same reservoir pressure. So, in that case reservoir fluid will not be able to entering into wellbore. So, when it is not able to entering wellbore, so whatever work you want to do, like say you want to remove one tubing or pipe, you want to put new pipe, you want to put artificial lifting system, you want to put some valving mechanism, anything, it will be easy because no oil and gas coming out. If oil and gas is coming out and you want to remove something, it will be very much difficult to handle because oil and gas can be dangerous, it can fire source, right. So, you need to control the fluid. So, kill fluid means like high density fluid you are injecting into wellbore, so that no fluid will be coming out, that time you operate everything. Then when operation done, you are changing piping, tubing, artificial lifting system, anything done. Then after that you pump another fluid to remove the kill fluid, high density fluid you have to remove. Then again reservoir pressure will be higher, your tubing pressure lower. So, reservoir fluid, high pressure fluid will be coming into your low pressure area and it will go to surface. But if your tubing pressure is almost equal, then there is no pressure difference. No pressure difference means no flow. So, to fluid flow from one point to another point, you need pressure difference. So, wellbore bottom and reservoir pressure same, no flow. Okay, flowing pressure we say, flowing pressure and reservoir pressure if almost same, there is no flow. But if reservoir pressure is higher, then again fluid will be entering and you will get production. Okay, that is the main process. So, you will have lots of controlling valve. There will be some subsurface valve also. So, that will be safety purpose. So, if something happens, like say surface control subsurface valve they say. So, in that case what happens, let us say anything happened, some theft happened, terrorism activities happen or something happened. So, in that case oil and gas will be coming out because this Christmas tree will have lots of valves. You can see there wing valve, floating valve, so many valves are there, master valve, primary, secondary. So, just to control the flow, by mistake something got broken or something happened. So, in that case fluid will be coming out continuously. So, if such thing happens, automatically the wellbore will be sensing that one, okay, something is wrong. So, immediately the flow will be cut, okay, using certain automatic valve mechanism. So, that is called subsurface valve, control from surface, okay, surface control subsurface valve, that will be controlling the flow. So, that will be stopping the flow. Okay, this is called fail safe operation. You may have heard this trains also will have the same mechanism, say fail safe. If something fails in train actually slowly it will be stopping. If you cut one bogie, last bogie or last 2-3 bogies, so bogies will be stopped actually, it will not move because it is fail safe operation. If it is moving, it is okay, fine, driver is controlling, things are okay, fine. But if something goes wrong, it will be stopping the flow. Okay, so that accidents and other environmental disaster will not happen. Environmental disaster means like oil and gas, if you are going to your surface area, then trees will be there, household, and many pollution will be coming up. So, that will be more dangerous actually sometime. If it is offshore wellbore, it is much more dangerous actually. Okay, so because cleaning that oil, spilling oil, very difficult to handle. Okay, fracking. Many time in US and Europe, many time you say that fracking will not be allowed, the government cases will be there. So, fracking, a frack job, they say frack job means fracking operation, that called frack job, FRAC, the term sometimes they use FRAC job. Okay. So, sometimes the spelling will be also FRACING. Okay. So, you should, both are correct actually, many people use FRAC only, frack job, fracking. Okay. So, what is fracking? So, whenever you are working on oil in oil industry, so they will be using the term fracking or frack job. So, you drill a hole, you put your casing, okay, and then you cement it. Okay. Now, if I have reservoir here, okay, reservoir oil is there, oil or gas or water may be there, and I cemented. So, one metal pipe I put cement, so there will be no inflow. Inflow means fluid is not entering into wellbore and it is not coming to the surface. So, then how to get the oil? So, you have to put lots of holes in the cemented area. So, you put a pipe, you put lots of hole. How to put hole? You have to go for perforation mechanism. Okay, I will discuss later. Then many cases perforation only will not help. Okay, in that case you have to crack the rock. Let us say you have oil and you have low permeability. Okay, you must be familiar with the term permeability, porosity. Porosity means you have pores or pockets where oil and gas is there. Okay, let's say these are pores. Okay, so maybe highly porous this area. OUS, but this is not permeable. Permeable means these pores are not connected. So if you drill a hole, let's say I drill a hole here. Okay, so you drilled a hole, but lots of oil and gas is there, but the pores or pockets are not connected. If not connected, then pockets will not release any oil and gas. So you will not get any production. So what you have to do? You have to create connectivity. Okay, you have to create connectivity. Then pockets will be releasing oil and gas. Okay, take my oil and gas. So that is called permeability, the connectivity. Okay, so you must remember when you are working with oil and gas, permeability, porosity definition. Many times during interview, we ask what is the difference between porosity, permeability, what is the unit. Okay, so you must be remembering. So if porous rock is there, but there is no connectivity, so what will happen? You are not getting production. So in that case, you go for cracking or fracking. Okay, how you frack? This rock area will be there. Okay, so you create very high pressure. Okay, if you create very high pressure, the rock will be cracked. Okay, rock is there like this, and it will be cracked. When cracked, fluid, whatever is there, fluid will be entering into your wellbore. Okay, you create very high pressure from the surface. Okay, surface rock will be cracked. Okay, so fracturing, you are fracturing using very high pressure. It is called frac job or fracturing job. Okay, so that pores will be connected, you will get more production. Okay, so this is called hydraulic fracturing, because using hydraulic fluid, one fluid will be there, you pump and you fracture. And when you fracture, again you release pressure, you reduce pressure, so again this will be closed. So when fractured and closed, again you are not getting production actually, because when oil and gas will be moving, it needs some space. Okay, so to create space, sometimes they will be putting some sand particle, they are called proppant. Okay, hydraulic fracturing, you put proppant or properly sized sand particle, gravels. Okay, these you create like this cracking, then you put lots of sands. So sand will create porous area. So fluid, oil and gas will be moving through the sand pores, but it will not close completely. Okay, like say this is sand, then it will be like this, and it will open, right? So then you are getting connectivity. So longer connectivity. So whole area, hole is here, but whole area, this area is broken. So that will be giving more oil and gas, okay, into your wellbore. Another way is that acid fracking. Acid fracking is that you fracture using hydraulic mechanism. Okay, then you put some acid. Okay, so what will happen? Fractured, put acid. Acid will be reacting on the surfaces. When it is trying to close, already reacted and removed material, so automatically it will be creating open. Okay, so it will not close completely because of acid erosion. So normally carbonate reservoir, if you have carbonate, okay, carbonate reservoir, you put HCl or many other chemicals, acids are there, you can put there and erode the surface, etch the surface, and although cracked is there, remove material, it try to close, but it will be open. Okay, so some gap will be there, so that will be allowing fluid to flow. So that is called acid fracking. Another term is called matrix acidizing. Matrix acidizing. Okay, this is called well stimulation technique actually. Well stimulation, you created a well and you are stimulating to get more production. Okay, so in matrix acidizing, what you do, your hydraulic fracturing, that much of pressure not required, you are injecting very high density strong acid. When you put strong acid, acid will be reacting on the carbonate reservoir, on rock, so they will be eroding, and this acid will be going like shape like this. Okay, this is wellbore, and acid will be moving like this. Okay, they will be creating lots of branches. Okay, that is called matrix acidizing. So that will create connectivity again. When you are getting connectivity, you are getting more production. Okay, you drill a hole. After drilling, you put cementing, okay. Then again reservoir is not connected to your wellbore. This is wellbore, right? Fluids should be flowing through this and you will get production, right? This is reservoir where oil and gas is there. Now there is no connectivity between wellbore and your reservoir. So you have to create connectivity. One way you create cracking or hydrofracking. Then another is that you have to create a hole here, because this is cemented and cement is there and metal pipe is there. So if cement and metal pipe is not, there is no hole or no pores, the fluid, whatever cracking, whatever fracking you do, fluid will not enter into a wellbore. So many times you put one laser gun, okay, using laser you burn this area, okay, burn, and you create hole, okay. So that is called perforation. You create perforation, okay. You are not breaking the rock, you are perforating only, okay. Previously you broke the rock, but here you are perforating only the laser or sometimes sand jet, water jet. So many techniques are there. Another way is that you put one gun, like one pipe will be there and lots of like explosive material will be there. So using some electric wire from surface, okay, you create explosion here. So explosion will be such a directed, so this explosion will be making hole on casing and cementing, and it will be moving like this, okay. It will create long holes, okay. So you got like this, okay. This sort of hole you will get. So this is called perforation. So different techniques are there. One will be laser based, there will be sand jet, very high pressure sand you can create and create jet, and it will be creating hole actually. Then you can create gun, perforation gun will be there, okay. So gun will be like RDS, TNT and those sort of material, the oil industry they will be using, and they will be perforating perfectly, okay. So that way they will be creating connectivity. So till you are connecting your wellbore to reservoir properly, your production rate will be lower, because many reservoir will have low permeability, porosity is there, lots of oil or gas is there, but not connected. So what to do? So you have to make connection. So you create hydrofracking or you create perforation. So in that way you are connecting the zone and you are getting more production, okay. Okay. Sand control technique actually to reduce amount of sand you are producing. So already I told that sand will have negative effect because of erosion, okay, negative effect. Another is that deposition. It will be eroding the surfaces, and if corrosive fluid is there, then corrosion also will be assisted, right? It will be assisting corrosion, like corrosive fluid will get new face every time, new surface, and it will be removing this salts, again it will give fresh surface to corrosive fluid. So it will be increasing corrosion rate or erosion rate, or together you can say. And deposition, you have separating system, it will get deposited. You have other mechanical equipment, horizontal pipe or vertical pipe, it will try to get deposited and it will be blocking the flow path. So that is also negative side. So so you have to control sand. So you can accept certain amount of sand, but not huge amount, okay. So you got the answer why we have to control sand. Now consolidated unconsolidated formation. So if you have unconsolidated formation, it's loose sand particle can move easily. So in that case you are getting more sand. But if you have consolidated formation, so in that case sand will not move so easily. So you get less sand, okay. So first you have to see whether it is consolidated formation or unconsolidated formation, like reservoir area, that whatever rock is there may be very sand particle will very strongly tightly fit, it is moving. Another case maybe sand particle moving easily. If it is moving easily, that means you will get more sand, that is called unconsolidated formation, okay. Consolidated formation, sand control not moving easily. Now if you have unconsolidated formation, sometimes you inject resin. So resin you inject at high pressure, so resin will be entering into this unconsolidated area. So resin will be bonding the sands, Okay, unconsolidated sand will have like this. So resin will create bond actually. Okay, so one sand to another sand, they will be creating some bondage, so sand will not move easily. So in many cases, you inject resin, you create bonding of sands, so that you will sand movement will be lower, so your life will be easier. Okay, in many cases it is not possible. So there will be different types or different techniques of sand control system. One is resin, one is sand screen. Sand screen is like this: you have one pipe, you make lots of slots, holes. Okay, so that way you are trying to reduce, but it still it will give certain amount of sand. Okay, metal pipe is called slotted liner. Slotted liner means it is also metal pipe. Okay, you have casing, you have tubing, you are creating metal pipe, and you are giving lots of holes. So it will reduce certain amount of sand, but not so much effective. So then the engineers, they thought, let's make some different type. So what they made different layer. They say one layer is here, one layer is here. In between they put lots of gravels. Gravel. So the gravel packs. One pipe is there, put inside another pipe, make lots of holes in the pipe. In between the pipe, you put lots of gravels or sand type of thing, so that you are creating porous pipe actually, 2-layer porous pipe, and your sand movement will be lower. Okay, previously you had only one pipe, you have lots of holes, so sand movement was easier. Now you create 2-layer pipe, in between you put lots of gravel, so sand will be reduced. But again you are creating resistance, you can see. So 2 layers are there, in between gravel are there. So whenever fluid from reservoir is coming to wellbore, it is getting resistance. So your flow rate will be little bit down. Okay. Now people thought, let's say get much better quality, so they put oven type sand control system. So here like cloth type thing, metal cloth actually you can say. So that will be reducing sand. So that will be much better sand control mechanism, but again it will be thinner also, but it will give more resistance also. Your flow rate also will go down. So you get very high quality sand control system, that means high resistance you are giving. And if you want to stop 100% sand, means stop flow. So no production, then there is no sand. Okay, so if you want to get production, so some amount of sand will be there. In many cases, engineers will think, okay, let's take sand, we will handle on the surface. That case also there. Okay, but not all cases. In general, there will be some sand control mechanism in a wellbore, so that you can get limited amount of sand, not very high. Okay, not, you cannot stop everything. Okay, and regarding arch formation, I was talking, it is like this. Like say arch, the sand particles are there. Okay, this is some hole is there, in this is casing, this is wellbore wall. Then arch will be formed like this. Okay, so slowly fluid will be entering and we are getting production. Okay, it will go to the surface. Fine. Now suddenly if you are changing your production rate, what will happen? This arch will get broken. This arch will get broken. When it is getting broken, so again new arch will be formed. So till new arch is formed, you are getting sand production. Okay, that's why it will be tenderly cared. Dhire dhire se, slowly you have to change your production rate. Suddenly if you are changing, then this arch will be broken, you will get more sand. So sand will take money, it is not economical. So you have to reduce actually. The next one. Okay, production. Now you got wellbore, cement cased, casing is metal pipe you put, you cemented, right, then you perforated. Okay, you perforated, then many cases you did some cracking also, or fracking, frac job you have done. Now you are getting production, you put wellhead, Christmas tree. Okay, you put choke also, choke to control flow. Okay, choke purpose is to control flow. Then after that you should have separator system. Okay, so whenever you are getting separate, again during well completion stage also, many places or many wellbore will have artificial lift actually, especially gas lift system. Many wellbore, offshore wellbore, they will be putting gas lift mantle at the beginning of when they are completing. because offshore any operation is expensive, so they will put gas lift mandrel at the beginning stage. So maybe they will not be using, later stage they will be using, but they will be putting gas lift mandrel. So the, artificial lift, there is separate course is there, so I am not discussing in details this one. Okay, so we will move to the next class for separated system analysis and some fluid property analysis. Thank you very much for this class.